TJ, when you guys were really close in that ball game, I think you outscored them 17-6 or something down the stretch there.
Yeah.
What did you feel like was the difference to give you all that length there late in the ball game?
We just started getting stops. We started hitting more shots, and we started doing all the little things to win the game, like rebounding, defending, and we started hitting our shots. So I'd say our defense and us hitting shots, changed the game for us.
Theo, go ahead.
Eric, you obviously hit some of those big shots down the stretch. How did it feel to close this one out and improve to 10-0 this season?
It felt good, but personally, I feel like it really shouldn't have been that close. But we pulled through, fought through some adversity, came out with the win.
Questions for the players? Raise your hand if you got them. Go ahead.
Let's do some player ledger. Can you kind of walk me through the last 48 hours after the death of Mike Leach? How do you be there for your teammates? How do you kind of be there for the community as a whole as you work through that as a school?
It's hard because death is hard. And it came unexpectedly. So it's hard for a lot of people. The whole Mississippi State is kind of grieving right now. And I feel sorry for the whole football team. Everybody that know Mike Leach and everybody that he impacted. It's kind of hard. We try to do something tonight positive for him. Go out there and win. Get the community something to smile about. Even though death, it's hard. Death is hard. But we just try to do something, get them something positive tonight. We know we can't change the outcome or whatever.
Go back to Theo.
Yeah, you guys obviously, or at least DJ, you played in this game last year in Jackson. For both of you guys, what did you think of the atmosphere here in this game against Jackson State?
It was a great atmosphere. Our fans showed up. They came there and they helped us out. Without them, we probably would have been in a hellhole. But they helped us. We started hitting shots. They gave us energy. They helped us. Fight to this win. So without them, we probably wouldn't do what we did. But I'm thankful for them. We got the win. But it was a fun game, to answer your question.
Raise your hands. Questions for the players. Rick, you have anything? You good? Anybody else? Good?
I want to give my condolences to the Leach family. Obviously, it's been some tough days for Bulldog Nation and our community. He was so revered and loved, and wasn't here long enough to get to know him at the level I would have liked to, but the time I did spend with him was incredible, and I always appreciate the conversations that we had with Coach. And we talked a lot about him leading up to the game the last couple of days, and obviously we still had to get our minds right to try to play the game, but he's been on our minds.
You guys get the win, go to 10-0 this season. How did you feel like they performed tonight?
It wasn't the start that we wanted, obviously. We thought they would play really well. They were excited. Coach Williams and I talked at shoot-around today, and he was real frank with me. We're focused, we're excited to play, and they showed it. They deserve a lot of credit. They were well prepared, and he had his team with a really good game plan, and they executed it for the most part. We had to kind of start over, if you will, in the middle of the game and make major adjustments that we hadn't made all year long. And some of them were things that we had never practiced, and fortunately, they helped us. And at the end of the day, you got to win the game and figure out how to win the game. And but this will be something we'll learn from, grow from. It'll end up being really good for us because of how exposed we got. They did some things that really exposed our defense, and we'll have to figure out how we can get better.
Okay, questions for Coach? Raise your hand. Let's go to Robbie, front row.
Coach, Cam Matthews had 2 points, but it seems like his presence was felt just about everywhere else. They had 5 steals and 5 assists too. How much has his game expanded since you've gotten here from what you've seen?
Yeah, obviously I don't know his game, like I know it now. I watched a handful of games prior to coming here, and I've told everybody this, that I felt he would transition to our schemes and what was important to us really easily. And it's not right very often, but I was right about that one. And he's a big part of who we are. What you don't see is the huddles and the practice and his daily mindset. You see the athleticism and the big blocks and the dunks and the running, and he's going to make plenty of shots for us. He really is working on it, and people are starting to give it to him. And it's going to be a great opportunity for him and for us if they're going to continue to guard him like that, because he'll be able to make baskets. But like you said, you hit the nail on the head. He does so much for us, not just even in the stat sheet, but behind the scenes.
Go ahead, second row.
Hey, Coach.
J.T. Keith. I'm from Roswell, so I was there when you were in Las Cruces. I wanted to ask you, can you tell me about the adjustment of living from New Mexico? I'm in Roswell, Southern, and you're in Las Cruces. And have you found any green chilies or red chilies that's like that area?
I don't know if you can go, you know, from one topography, one climate, any more different than the one that I live in now. So it was a stark difference, if you will, in terms of all that. But you know, obviously, we're transitioning, continue to transition, and we love it. The people have welcomed us with open arms. I have met some folks in Starkville that have a ranch in New Mexico, and they've had us over for New Mexican food and have told us that they have it shipped and they will give us a small portion that we can use. So we're looking forward to that.
Go ahead.
How do you think the fan turnout impacted the game tonight?
First of all, I thought it was awesome. I wasn't expecting that. I have played in this building before, and I remember what the crowd was like that night. And even when the game started, I don't really take it all in, but I'll glance to kind of get a feel. And then at some point in the middle of the first half, I don't know if it was a timeout or whatever, but my vision caught the crowd. I'm like, wow. I mean, it really filled in, and I was pleasantly surprised by how many people were there. And unfortunately, you know, we didn't give them much to cheer about in the first half, but they definitely helped us down the stretch. You know, we had some runs there, we got some steals, we got some runouts, and you could feel the energy in the building pick up, and definitely helped us down the stretch.
Gave you good minutes off the bench. I think you had 10 points too. And then, what are you seeing from him right now?
It's just a matter of when. It's not a matter of if. He's got so much ability. He's as natural of a scorer as we have in terms of just the feel that he has on the offensive end. That part, he's got that down. Certainly, you know, he's got to do it in the rhythm of our offense and what we're trying to do, but when it clicks for him on the defensive end and rebounding and being assignment correct, he's going to be an unbelievable player. And I think he was a little surprised when I called his name, but we needed a spark. Now, when you shoot the first time you touch the ball, the old school coaches would tell you that's not the time to shoot it. And trust me, that was going through my brain. But it's one of those shots, if you take, you better make it. And he did, you know, that rainbow three. And then he scored a couple other baskets and had a couple nice passes. And he was a big spark for us in the first half and allowed us to kind of get that lead going into halftime.
Rick, go ahead.
Chris, you said that exposed your son defensively, but down the stretch, I mean, I think y'all outscored 16-3. Didn't you think the defense is what did that?
You know, for the first time all year long, we had to make major changes in how we defend. We haven't had to do that all year long. And again, tip of the cap to Coach Williams and their staff, because they were very well prepared. They did some things that other teams haven't. I knew it was going to happen sooner or later, and they exposed us. And so we literally kind of take the game plan, threw it away at one of the media timeouts and said, okay, here's how we're going to guard this action and that action as best we can. And it makes us feel good knowing going forward when we have to do something like that our guys are capable of changing midstream, because we haven't had that type of adjustment all year long. But yeah, I thought, you know, we didn't deny as much. They kept getting easy baskets. We weren't doubling as much because they were skipping it. And then we weren't switching as much as we normally do because our switches weren't clean and forwards getting loose and finding open space to knock them down. So, you know, they did a really good job of taking the adjustments and getting in the game the last 6-7 minutes of the game.
We'll go to second row. Go ahead.
Coach, how do you kind of prepare your team to play over everything that's happened over the last 36 hours? And how do you kind of keep and honor Mike Leach in your minds, but then continue to prepare, you know, for a big game against Jackson State tonight?
Yeah, we do it to the best of our ability. I mean, we've been talking about Coach Leach since you know, we heard the news on Sunday, you know, in our team room, our video room, and we talk about it, you know, and it was pretty somber. Had some pretty somber conversations, and at the same time, you know, when it's time to talk business and preparation and game planning, you know, from where I sat, they handled it really, really well, and we did the best job that we could.
Theo.
You mentioned this being a big test. In what areas, if any, would you still like to see your team be tested in the last couple of non-conference games before SEC play starts?
I'd rather win handily, to be honest with you, but that's probably not going to be the case. But you can't predict that. I don't know. I don't coach their team, and I'm not in their video room and coaching meetings, so I'm sure we will. I don't know what area of the game it will be, and we'll try to adjust and figure it out.
Robbie?
Coach Ford that you mentioned, Colty Young, he's a startable guy, kind of went under the radar. Was he prominent in your scout, or was that something that kind of jumped out tonight? When you
Oh no, he was very prominent. Coach Brooks obviously knew him well and talked bluntly with our guys about him and a couple other guys about how big a game this was going to be for them personally. And certainly, we get how big a game this is for them. I mean, it is, and I'm a coach, so I try to lower expectations a time or two. And I told everybody that would listen to me that this isn't a smart game for us to play Jackson State in their backyard. And it was, I thought it was going to be a profit for a while, but he was, and he's got to feel really good about his performance. He gave their team a chance to win. He wasn't the only one, but he was one of the main ones, and he played with great confidence, and he looked really good out there.
Got time for a couple more. David, go ahead.
Coach, good to see you again. David Edelstein with WJTV CBS here in Jackson. I'm just wondering, start that you had first season coaching this team, just what's impressed you so much or maybe stood out or surprised you along the way in these first 10 years?
I just think the willingness of all the players to buy in at a pretty high level of what we're trying to sell them, if you will, the schemes, the approach, the standard. We have bad days, we have bad practices, bad segments, but by and large, they've been on the same page and they're trying. And, they want to win. And we sold them a vision. And obviously, when you start winning, that gives them confidence and more belief. And hopefully that will continue, but that probably sticks out the most.
JT?
Coach, can you talk about, you didn't do this much at New Mexico State, but you guys are playing HBC schools, you're Power 5 now. Can you talk about the essence of that?
Yeah, I thought it was just great for especially the state of Mississippi to play this game. I think it grows the game. I mean, by the look of the crowd, I think everyone was pretty impressed. We didn't have obviously great weather, today or yesterday, and that probably didn't help. But I'm not sure what I would say after we lost a game like that. But now that we won, I feel really good about being a part of it.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.